What's up, Safari Nation? Today I am in Cape Town's V&A Waterfront and I'm partnering up with Two Oceans Aquarium to show you guys what the aquarium is all about and to give you guys a bit of an idea what there is to do. So let's go. So the Two Oceans Aquarium opened its doors in 1995 and it gets its name from the representation of the Indian and the Atlantic Ocean here in the southern parts of South Africa. So I'm going to get a ticket and then I'm going to head inside and show you guys around. I love the fact that as soon as you walk into the aquarium, you just get smacked in the face by the diversity gallery. So you've got from snake eel and moray eel all the way to boxfish and sweet lips and a whole bunch of other stuff that I have never even heard of that already just introduces you to the amazing wonders of what's found beneath the ocean depths. So it's really cool just already walking into this and experiencing this. Aside from my soul. Traveling to the aquarium by yourself is very easy, and you can come here with your family or with a group of friends or whatever, but you won't need a guide actually, as every exhibit that you do visit has a lot of information regarding to what you're looking at, how to identify certain species and so on. So it's very interactive and very easy to do by yourself. One of the best animations of all times was based on this little guy. Yes, you guessed it. Finding Nemo. Now, even if you've never seen Finding Nemo, experiencing the Nemo exhibit here at the aquarium is one of the best things you can do, and the kids will absolutely love it. Alright guys, so the diversity gallery was so cool, but I actually managed to get a little bit of behind the scenes access to the local jellyfish expert. Now, my knowledge on jellyfish is pretty poor, so I think let me go and introduce you guys to Krish, and then he'll take it from there.
Hello, Vian.
Chris, how you doing?
Good. Welcome to Fun at the Aquarium.
Thank you very much.
Come inside.
Right, let's go, guys.
So we're going to go to the lab.
Awesome.
And I'll show you a bit about how we grow jellies and stuff.
Awesome. So Chris, tell me a little bit what it is that you actually really do with these jellyfish.
Okay, so we grow them.
Okay.
We have about 26 species of jellyfish that's not found anywhere else in the world, only found here.
Okay.
Those are the two guys that look like an umbrella and a stalk. And then the weird looking ones, we call them the hydrozoans. They're the ones that glow in the dark and look like spaceships.
Oh, yes.
We have about 300 of those.
Jeez.
And then box jellies, the ones people are afraid of, we have about 6 of them.
Okay.
And we've only formally described about 3 of them.
Wow,
so there's still lots of research to do with jellies.
That's so cool. Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. And then so the whole process of actually growing
A jellyfish.
jellyfish, how like take us through
How does it
that
happen?
process?
Okay, so we catch jellies. I like explaining the fact that jellies work like butterflies.
Okay.
So you know, butterfly has the caterpillar, then the cocoon, and the butterfly.
Yes.
Jellyfish have a polyp, which is
Okay.
a little anemone, and then it has a strobili that makes baby jellyfish, and then you have the jellyfish itself, boy and girl.
Okay.
And that's how 99% of jellyfish work.
And so the jellyfish that you're growing, can you like take us through the process of how do you start it to where you
Cool.
have the actual jellyfish?
So over here, there's a good example of how polyps look once they go through the strobilation phase.
Okay.
So instead of them dividing into 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 jellyfish of the same kind, or
Yeah.
same polyp, they actually start splitting themselves and they look like little frisbees stacked on top of each other.
Okay.
And depending on the kind of jellyfish, or the polyp can make between 1 or 99 or 200 babies at a time.
Okay.
And then once it makes babies, it just grows back into a polyp again.
Yeah.
So that cycle continuously goes on and on.
Yeah.
So over here we have lots of little polyps, and they're polyps of moon jellyfish. And we grow lots of moon jellyfish because they form the basis of the food for other jellyfish that eat jellyfish, as well as our turtles. So if we get a leatherback turtle in, they only eat jellies. We have enough jellies to feed them as well until they make it through rehab to be released again.
That's awesome. How long does it take for them to get to like
a big size?
Adult or a big size?
So from a little guy this small, you can get them to a jellyfish about that size in 2 to 3 weeks.
2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, and we feed them lots of baby shrimp.
Okay.
And then every morning they get a smoothie as well. So anything you can think of on the seafood table, hake, sardines, orchard, fish eggs, gets put into the smoothie, and we push it onto their lips so they can grow that the size it's supposed to be like in the wild, and they get their full diet as well.
This is one of my favorite exhibits in the entire aquarium. It's called the INJ Ocean exhibit. How insane is this? So the INJ exhibit holds 1.6 million liters of water. And in here you can find species like mussel crackers, grunters, kingfish, a whole bunch of amazing things like stingrays and even sea turtles. So it's a really, really awesome exhibit to enjoy. The 9-meter viewing window gives you a rare but amazing insight into these amazing creatures' lives. My absolute favorite thing about this entire exhibit is this 10-meter tunnel. Now, when you're in the tunnel, you get this perspective that you wouldn't normally get from any other angle, and it's almost like being with these amazing creatures in the water, but you don't get wet. So it's pretty awesome. And I just love getting this kind of perspective into these creatures' lives, where you look at these mussel crackers and you've got these stingrays just kind of flying by. So it's really, really cool just being in this tunnel. Turtles are some of the coolest animals in our oceans, and to learn a little bit more about these amazing creatures, I managed to get some access to the local turtle expert here at the aquarium. So we're going to head on over there right now and learn a thing or two about turtles. Awesome, guys. Okay, so I am at the very top of the aquarium here with Talita, who is the local turtle expert. So we're going to be heading into the pool here a little bit and interact with the turtles, and she's going to tell us a little bit more of what's going on around with the turtles.
Sounds good.
Let's get in. So what is it that you guys do here at the aquarium with the turtles?
So we run a turtle rescue rehab release program,
Okay.
which means that all the turtles we have in our care are turtles that have washed up because of injury.
Okay.
They've been brought to us by members of the public, and then we help to heal them. We give them medical care, we give them love, food, everything they need.
Okay.
And then when they're ready for the ocean again, we release them.
Okay.
So none of the animals we have are kept. They're always released.
Okay.
Alvy has a particularly special story because he washed up in Strathspey in November last year.
Okay.
And he wasn't able to breathe properly when he came in.
Okay.
And he had plastic stuck in his throat.
Oh, really?
So we had to pull that plastic out.
Look at the big boy.
And this is Bob.
Bob.
Bob is a
massive.
super chill turtle.
Bob is massive.
He's like a Bob Marley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bob?
And also loves the love.
Yes.
And Bob was also unfortunately impacted by plastic pollution.
Oh, really?
So
Okay,
he
that's
pooed out balloons, plastic bags, all sorts of
wow,
things.
Okay.
And so that's one of the things that we do. We look after the turtles, but also we use their stories for conservation efforts. So these guys are ambassadors for their species, which is quite cool.
That's really cool. Do
As
you
our
guys
privilege.
work with hatchlings or little
Yes,
ones?
we do. So every year we have nesting populations up our east coast. So
Yes.
and the loggerhead and leatherback turtles that lay their eggs there, those eggs hatch at the beginning of every year, January, February, and those little turtles make their way to the ocean and get caught up in our current, our Gullis current. It's nice and warm. They ride that current, little surfer dudes. But then when the current comes down here, it slows down, and then when it slows down, they get spat out of it, and they find themselves dehydrated and cold shock, often with injuries from birds and crabs and fish, and so that leads them to wash up on our beaches. And so from about March to about August every year, we have hatchlings that wash up, and then we run a little turtle hospital for them. So that's a little bit more like an ICU, so we don't interact with those turtles in the same way we do with these guys. It's much more feeding, medical care, and then leaving them alone. But we have a great success rate with them, and those turtles that come to us, we release again at the end of the year. Often much bigger, much stronger, with a second chance, and then we release them back into the sea.
I'm currently at the touch pool exhibit here with my good friend Mark, and I would really suggest swinging by and interacting with the friendly staff where you can learn more about anemones and kelp and starfish and that kind of thing. So let's see what Mark has to say.
So this is a Cape sandy anemone.
Okay.
Very interesting looking. They're actually animals.
Okay.
So they kind of look like flowers, but they're actually animals. If you touch the side here and tell me what that feels like.
Oh, it's like stingy, like
It's
sticky.
Sticky and stingy because it's actually stinging you right now.
Wow,
So
okay.
you'll feel it almost feels like Velcro clinging onto your finger. And that's actually how they catch their food.
Thanks for that, Mark.
No problem.
Cool.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Bird watching is one of my favorite things to do in nature, and the more you watch this channel, the more you'll pick up on that. But because of this passion that I have, this next exhibit to me personally is really exciting. Yep, I'm talking penguins. Penguins are some of the most comical creatures when you get to see them go about their business as they waddle around and do their funky little things, and it's really cool getting up close and personal with these guys here at the aquarium. If you come and sit in the little bird hide that the aquarium has here, you get really close to the rockhopper penguins and you get to see them really nicely. Although the penguins are the main focus of the exhibit as a whole is set out to educate you from the freshwater to ocean kind of ecosystem. So there's this entire freshwater upper, middle to lower river reaches up into the ocean kind of ecosystem displayed here at the exhibit. But for the ultimate penguin experience though, I would say one needs to get up close and personal with these guys. And I actually managed to get some behind the scenes access to the local penguin expert and curator. So let's have a look and see what they have to say. Nathan, so what is it that you do here at the aquarium?
So I work in our ecosystem exhibit, which borders our penguins. So I get to do a variety of things. I'm responsible for our ecosystem, so it's our plants and like our reptiles and our amphibians. And then I also work with our birds, and then I also do diving. So I work with rays, sharks,
So
all variety.
Yeah.
Teddy is close to about 35 years old.
Wow,
He's our
35.
oldest penguin.
Okay.
And when he arrived here in I think it was 1998, but his feet were wired together. So often the fishermen, what they do is they'll tie their wings and feet together to keep them on board the fishing vessels.
That's horrible.
And as a result, he's got really bad arthritis. On a regular basis, he used to get acupuncture. So we used to do acupuncture just to help his feet. He's also... It's helped a lot, and also swimming helps a lot for him. So he's also one of the other penguins that is quite prone to bumblefoot. So
How old would they get in captivity?
Captivity about 40. So we're hoping he's still got a few good years with us. And then in the wild about 15. years.
Okay.
So very different.
Yeah, that's very different. Yeah. I love how they feel so rubbery. Like
Yeah.
it's not like a regular feather you'd expect to feel. The Kelp Forest exhibit features these giant sea bamboo-like plants known as kelp, and a whole lot of really cool fish species like this massive white steenbras. I mean, how big is that thing? That thing is huge. Living kelp forests are displayed over only a handful of aquariums across the world, and the Two Oceans Aquarium manages it just right, getting the water motion, the open sunlight, as well as the water temperature and everything that the kelp needs to thrive, getting all of that into the perfect balance. Species like red stumpnose, white steenbras, zebra guljoen, and a whole bunch of other stuff call this exhibit home, and they are lucky enough to have some of the best water quality in the entire aquarium, as this kelp forest just acts as a huge water purifier. This is a ragged tooth shark, just going about his business in the predator exhibit. The sharks in this exhibit are ambassadors for their species, educating people on the importance of these predators in our oceans, and also showing people that they're not as dangerous as people think to be. And to really get the most out of the exhibit, I would suggest visiting the aquarium on a Sunday when they feed the sharks around 3 p.m. It's incredible seeing them gulp down their weekly meal right in front of you. And if seeing these guys through the glass is not adventurous enough, look at this guy. Why not take a dive within the exhibit? I'm gonna have to come back to do that, but I'm pretty sure that's exciting. What I showed you guys now is literally the tip of the iceberg, and I would really suggest coming here whenever you can and just come and enjoy everything the aquarium has to offer. If you're a local, consider getting their annual pass, which isn't that expensive and allows you access anytime, whenever you want, throughout the whole year, and you'll get to see some pretty amazing stuff. Oh, I also just want to say thanks to the aquarium for working with me on this and letting me do this vlog, as well as my friends at Consuming Fire Productions who helped me put this whole thing together. Awesome guys, have an awesome week. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Cheers!